Hello, my name's Neil. Welcome to Retro for You. Today we're going back to school. Well, relive those school moments with a BBC Micro. Now, anybody in the UK would have used one of these at school anyway, especially around my age. Now, I acquired this, the Yorkshire Amiga group. We had a meeting at the Northwest Computer Museum, and I tell you now, the Northwest Computer Museum is amazing. I was like a kid in a sweet shop. There was just every computer you can think of, all the 8 bits, the 16 bits. There was even Archimedes. There's so much games consoles, arcade machines, VR. It's an amazing place, full of stuff. I can't list all the things there is there. So just go along, take them a visit. It costs you £7. It's the best £7 you spend. Plus you do food as well, which is amazing. So I'll put a link down below to the Northwest Computer Museum. I definitely will be going back. So without further ado, let's crack on and get back to school. So this is the BBC that I managed to pick up. Now it's a master, which I wanted. I do have a BBC B, but I've always wanted a master. Now, I did say I wasn't going to plug this in, or I wasn't going to plug it in live, but I accidentally plugged it in before. I didn't mean to, it just accidentally fell into the plug socket. And you can see the results here. Looks like the reefer caps are blown, so we're going to be replacing the reefer caps today, as well as taking all the keys off, giving it a general good clean and a good test. Hopefully it's going to work. You can tell by looking at this machine it is slightly grimy. Let's just have a quick look over with a camera so we can see how it's looking. Obviously it's been in a school and there's been lots of kids with grubby hands all over this machine. So the first thing I want to do is actually get this machine open. Now I presume all the screws are underneath. I've never taken one of these apart before. What has intrigued me is this. This product contains a battery unit. Refer to welcome guide and any addendum for replacement instructions. Now, is that a Varta? If it's a Varta, it might have leaked inside, so we may have more work on our hands. I'm not quite sure. Like I said before, I've never had one of these masters apart before. First thing we need to do is to take all the screws out of the base. Okay, so I'm just about ready to lift this off now, so hopefully it should lift off in one piece, just like so. Now I'm going to give this case a clean. I would love to retrobrite it, but unfortunately it's doing what it always does in the UK, and it's raining. So now this is different to what obviously I've seen in the BBC B. Now it's got spade connectors here, but they're actually big spade connectors. unlike the unlike the tiny ones on the BBC B, so it's like they've upped them, which is a lot better. Now there's a ROM here which says View Store Site License. I've no idea what that is. If anybody knows, drop me a comment down below. We're going to pull that out anyway. And there's a battery there, and it's got like a little 9-volt adapter here. Do you remember the old 9-volt plug-in batteries, the square ones? It's like that, but it looks a lot bigger than that. So let's just take that out and we'll have a look at that battery. At least it hasn't got the dreaded Vata I thought it had. It looks like it's under this panel here. There's probably a modification we can do for this nowadays, so we need to check this out. Oh no, look at that. It's actually some double A's. It's a clever design, so it has 3 double A's, and then that just plugs onto there. So we're going to get some batteries in that, and because it doesn't look as if they've leaked or anything, which is absolutely excellent. So that's new to me, I didn't know that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to undo this screws here and remove the keyboard, because I want to remove the keys, get them in the ultrasonic bath and give them a good clean off. So it looks like there's 4 screws that hold the keyboard in. And then, unlike the Master, there's 2 ribbons. There seems to be a lot more power going to the board. Now this one here, is usually the negative 5-volt. It's usually for the sound, if I remember rightfully. I actually did forget then. Just trying to find my band as I'm dealing with an old machine, just in case. We'll put the ESD band on. Make sure it's plugged up there, and we shall plug it into the mains, just like so. It's always better to be safe than sorry. So we'll just unplug these. They are marked. Well, I presume they are. I hope they are. Otherwise one could be doing them wrong later. It's always positive at the top. If I remember that now, I should be good. So it's positive at the top, negative at the bottom. Same again, positive at the top, negative at the bottom. Yeah, these are tight. So that's all these disconnected now. I presume that's to the battery. Yes, it is. So there's 2 keyboard connectors on this, unlike the one on the BBC B. That's probably because it's got the extra keypad, perhaps. That one isn't actually plugged in correctly. Looks like somebody has been in here. So we'll take this off. We'll put this away for one side. Now, how does this come off? That just sits over like that in a nice little caddy. Quite liking this machine. So now you can see the whole board here. You can see the wires, the CPU, the sound chip. Obviously you've only got 1, 2, 3 ROMs here, but it looks like some of the ROMs are actually soldered directly to the board. You can see here, which is different, but you've also got these 2 expansion slots which you didn't have on the BBC B. And I know you can get a cartridge that plugs in there that allows you to put other ROMs on, because we were saying that this one doesn't have the slot for the speech ROM, but I think you can run them off these here. Not that I'm that interested in the speech ROM anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly remove this power supply, and then we'll crack on with getting it repaired. So here we have the power supply. Now the next thing we need to do is to just remove the board, which should be as simple as the 4 screws here. So, unfortunately, I actually broke my desoldering gun, so I'm going to have a go. That's the power supply back together. So now I've got my tool and we're going to proceed to remove all these keycaps. So without further ado, let's crack on with getting the keys back on. Now they've all come from out of the bath, they're all clean, they're a lot better than what they were, and let's get this keyboard built up with the iconic orange keys along the top. Now this, I think, could be quite fiddly. totally different now. You can see how much cleaner it is. There's no grime at all on the keys anymore. And I'm really happy with that. Those iconic orange keys are all showing up, which is what I wanted. So that's ready to go back into the BBC. So we're back at the Beeb. We're just going to get this power supply back into this machine. Hopefully everything should be good. I'm hoping. She sits under there. Tell you what I should do first, actually, thinking about it. We will unplug this and we'll test this power supply before we go and plug it in. It makes sense, doesn't it? So we should have voltage on here, 5 volt, which is rock steady, which is good, and we should have 5 volt on here as well. Yep. And this one should be negative 5 volt. So if I can hold it in, yes it is. And look at that, that is really stable voltage. That's really good. So we'll just unplug that for now. So it looks like the power supply is good. So I found 3 batteries here. I will replace some other ones. Unfortunately they're not matching. You shouldn't really do this, but it's for test purposes only. So now that that's plugged up, we can now stick this back in. Look at that now, compared to how it was. It's like a new machine, doesn't it? So what we're going to do next, we're just going to give it a power on test. Exciting times. I've connected the OSSC up. Okay. It's now outputting to the screen here. Hopefully when I turn this on, we're going to get something. That did sound better, and it has, so let's zoom in. This is not a language. Now that could be because I've had the batteries out. I think it was either you wrote down R as it's loading. Let me try that to reset the basic CMOS settings. So that's reset the CMOS RAM now. So if I press brake, we should hopefully be to the DOS. Or to, not to DOS, we should be on Acorn ADFS. And we seem to have locked up there, but it's got the advanced disk filing system on there. So this is a screen we're up to. Now I put it back together because I've worked something out. Now believe it or not, these BBCs were ahead of the time, and these masters actually had what's equivalent to a BIOS. So it needs some settings putting into the BIOS, because obviously because those batteries went flat, it's forgot all its settings for its language basic, etc., and its display mode 7, etc., etc. So there's a few commands we can put in and it should work. Now I had to look this up on the internet, so bear with me if you see me glancing down to read something. So what I need to do first is I need to hold down R as I'm booting, and that will give me this screen here. Now if I press Control D and brake, I should be able to put in some commands now. So CO and then language 12, which will set it to basic, hopefully, and then CO dot and then file 9, which is with the disk operating system, I guess. And then the last one is CO dot mode 135, which is mode 7 with shadow RAM. So now I've done that, I think all I do is press Control and brake, I think, and that should say that I'm boot to basic, which it does. Boom! Something's actually worked for once on my channel. Okay, now what else I fitted? I fitted an MMFS, which is a little SD card that goes in the actual, what's his name, user port underneath. So we're just gonna slot that in and see if it works. So what it does, it just slots in to the user port here, just like so. It can only go in one way because it's keyed, so you can't get it in the wrong way. All I suggest is make sure you plug your SD card in there. So now that's done, hopefully if I turn this on, fingers crossed it's going to remember those settings and save them and go to basic, which it has. Whoa! So the ROM's in there, the MMFS is in there. Exciting times, this is when things work. So if I just type in star MMFS and then maybe star menu, I think. Look at that. We now got some games. Now I'm going to go across to one of my favourite games I used to play at school. This is just amazing. I'm so happy with this machine. I've really wanted one and it's come up really lovely. I mean, once it's retrobrated, it's going to be perfect. HIJK, was that? That wasn't Lemmings then? Lemming Syndrome, I don't know what that is. We'll have a look at this later. I got too excited. Now this here was one of my favourite games. So we're just going to load it up. So I'll just change the view over a bit. We'll just have to work out what keys do what, because these were all key driven, weren't they? So Z and X move me left and right. I think the arrow keys move my, what's his name? How do I jump? Oh, spacebar changes me, so now I'm a monkey. But as far as I remember, you see this, the 149 in the corner. If I change again, that's the amount of changes I've got. So I've only got a certain amount of changes to complete the whole game. Different like characters, later on you can get a bird that you can fly, actually give you different like abilities. Like obviously the monkey, you can climb the rope. The dog or the cat, we had an argument at school whether it's a dog or a cat. I always said it was a cat, people said it was a dog. That allows you to jump over greater distances. And obviously the wizard, you could use wands and items, etc. So the first thing is, it says, like, it gives you little hints like, speak here. So we'd have to speak there. Now there's something up there. So I think if we do this, I can't remember what up and down is. So just bear with me. It must have been around here somewhere. Oh, there you go. So I can climb up that rope and now I can pick that up, which I think is a whip. And I'll show you what you do. I remember now. It's all coming flooding back to me. So you can go all the way up here, and because you're a bit higher, you can jump down like so. Now what I need to do is to transfer to the wizard and to get the whip. Yeah, different times you can whip a dog up. Whoops, because otherwise he kicks you off. And I messed it up, didn't I? Because I was too excited. So again, we'll climb up. We're getting better at this, guys. And we'll go across and press enter spacebar again. Select the whip. There you go. Now the dog's cowering and moving backwards. I'm sure this won't be allowed nowadays. RSPCA would have something to say about this. Obviously, you don't want to get too close to it because it will actually kick you off. But this is a brilliant game. Why it can't come on any other systems? Because it's a BBC only game. And obviously, now we need the monkey again. I've used too many changes up really, but we'll just play through this one level if we can, and we'll go this way. So now, like I said before, we need to use the cat. I think it's maybe not the cat. We'll go back on. We'll do the monkey. Because we can climb up here, can't we? So the whole idea is we've got to catch that frog. So what we need to do is, I know what we need to do. We need to get the monkey. We have to time this correctly, which I'm not doing very well. Okay, now we need to change to the cat or the dog. Let me know in the comments below what you think it is. I think it's a cat. People think it's a dog. And now we need to jump and catch the frog. So now we need to go back to here. And up we go. See, don't make games like this anymore, do they? Things that make you think. Just have moving blocks around. I could use a dog now to zoom me along here. And we can jump up here. So now we need to, where was it we speak? Is it here? And the way they want to speak is with a frog. So that allows you to open the door, which then is the exit up there. I don't know what the other frog's there for. So what we do is we can now go to there. Where's the wizard? We have to transfer back to the wizard because obviously he knows the magic spells. And press enter on there. And there you go. Done the level. Now, this is actually brilliant. I mean, I love this game. You can tell by my smile on my face probably. So, that's about it. I'm going to leave it there. So, I will see you in the outro. So, you made it to the end of another video. And it almost went wrong again. It didn't work. But we soldiered on through, and this one was actually successful. So, not everything is a failure. So, I just wanted to show you this short video here of when I was at the computer museum. It's just the machines you expect to see there, etc. And I didn't take my gimbal, unfortunately, so I apologise if the footage is a bit raw, but it's how I was, and all I had with me was a camera for the day. Well, was it even a camera? It was my phone holding my hand. If you're new here, please hit the like button. Please drop me a comment down below, even if it's hello. And also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done before. I'm over 1,000 subscribers out. I never thought it'd be this far. So, big thanks to everybody that subscribed. Big thanks to everybody that gives me the thumbs up and the comments. I'm really enjoying doing this, even though some projects don't work out. Now, speaking of projects, the Amiga 500++, I'm still working on it. I still can't find that short. It's very, very annoying, I know, but it will be back and we'll get to the end of it and we'll fix it. So I'll leave you with that short video on the Northwest Computer Museum, and I shall see you next time on Recto for You. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye!